The streets have spoken. Street Fighter 6 is one of the best fighting games ever. It's one of the best entries into Street Fighters ever. It's breaking records left and right. Street Fighter 6 is amazing. It is great. But what makes it so amazing? What is it that's drawing in not just the hardcore FGC, but also the casuals, the people who don't really play fighting games, who don't really play Street Fighters? What is the hubbub? What's the excitement? Well, there's a lot of reasons, right? From the accessibility features, what like kind of brings you in, the kind of bridge gap into Street Fighters. There's the open world, like world tour, like beat 'em up style game. There's the create your own characters. There's the awesome gameplay mechanics, the graphics, the color, the art style. Everything is just like what you want a game to do, what you want a fighting game to do. It is hitting all the marks. Again, just a phenomenal game. But what the developers at Capcom really did here was they made a community. They made a place that you could check in daily, whether it be just for one match, whether it be for, you're trying to rank up as quick as possible. Whatever the case that you're coming to this game for, there's definitely a sense of community about it. And it's evident in the like battle hub, the lobby mode, whatever you want to call it, this kind of arcade room that people can gather around from all over the world and communicate. They can battle, they can bring their own creative characters and just have a blast with it. And never has it been more evident that online can just kind of bridge these gaps between people who never would ever communicate ever in their lives, but we could all come together and just have a fun time. And every now and again when I get bored, I kind of just go through different lobbies and do random things. And seeing the different mix of people within every lobby is always like just a blast. I think one of the weirdest things I walked into a lobby once was I walked into a lobby and all the arcade cabinets were empty. And in the center, everyone's like Monster Mash characters are just brawling it out, duking it out. Everyone is just having a blast in the center with their own creative characters, and the variety within them was just so fun to see them. You have someone with Hadouken, with Blanca's rolling ball, and like Zangief's pile driver. It is just a crazy mess of a game that I think people are just having a blast enjoying being around each other. Every now and again I read like the little messages that they leave to each other after a fight. They're giving off tips like, hey, try not to jump more, or hey, try to use drive impact less, or manage your meters more, block more, attack low. Whatever it is, they're passing on knowledge. They're talking about this. People just come in just to like hang out and chat. And I think that's one of the craziest things is like they're not even really playing the game anymore. They're just hanging out. I go into a lobby and I see people just chilling, talking, or spectating. I see people coming to just spectate matches. And it's like Capcom really set out to kind of create that like 90s arcade culture, but like on a online level. And I think it's safe to say that they succeeded. They succeeded in creating like a lobby that people want to hang out in, people want to chill, people want to customize their characters. You see everyone is looking wacky or crazy. The avatar fights are just so fun to watch, honestly. Every time I go into a lobby and I just kind of spectate some of the avatar matches, it is just a blast seeing like what kind of crazy amalgamations of characters they added. You see people who clearly want the advantage and they created their avatar with like really long limbs and stuff so they have reach advantage over you. And I feel like that's something that is so rare in not just fighting games but in games. You see things like Elden Ring or like Souls games where they have the little messages to kind of communicate and bridge the gap between players. But you don't really see anything where like people can just like hang out and also play a game. You have like Sims and you have like things that are more like obviously casual oriented, more casual focused. But fighting games have long been the niche. Fighting games have long been for the diehards, for the FGC, for the people who know, they know. But for everyone else, they're like, oh yeah, that's a good game. Or yeah, like Street Fighters 2, remember that back in the 90s? Cool, but never has it been this kind of communal grounds for everyone to just do whatever they want. And Street Fighter 6 has just showcased the possibilities that games can take it. You know, like, no longer does a game have to just be a video game, a solo experience, or just a me thing. It could definitely be a place that you can just hang out and chill and kind of like get to know people and kind of break away from that. I was in a lobby the other day and there was a Blanca player who was like at a 30 win streak, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be the guy to take him down. And then when I get to him, and 30 matches later, after his 30 wins, and he's at 60 win streak, and 30 of those were just me, trying to dethrone him, and me learning and getting better. That guy, I'm sure he was probably some middle-aged guy who probably played Blanca back in Street Fighter 2 back in the 90s. You could tell because he wasn't really trying to use his drive gauge too much. He was really just kind of play like really good footsies and taking advantage of how like chaotic Blanca is in this game. Whatever it was, whoever he was is irrelevant, because that moment that we had, those sets, those rounds that we were trading off, I took away from that knowledge. I took away learning more of the game. He took away being like the king of the lobby, like he was like, damn, like no one's dethroning me. And we just had a blast. And then afterwards we chopped it up a little bit. We talked, we're both, saying our GGs, etc. And it's just, again, such a fun, unique thing that is rare to see. I remember back in PS3 they had like the PS3 home, the PlayStation home or whatever it was, where you can kind of hang out and like talk to people and go through like little events that are going on in the game. And I kind of feel like this is that, but elevated, because not only is it just a place to hang out, but there's an awesome game in this. There's if you want to rank up and play through the online, great. It is awesome for that. It is amazing for that. It's one of my favorite things is going through ranked. But also just the arcade mode is fun. The world tour isn't just fun, but it's purposeful. You go through and you kind of learn the mechanics slowly. You learn characters slowly. You kind of create an amalgamation of what you like, and then you can do that and then take it into online and try to see if your amalgamation could beat someone else's crazy cuckoo, group of move sets. And again, as a longtime Street Fighters fan, this is rare. This is amazing. This is fantastic. And it's just like, I don't know where you take it from here. And I'm glad that right now we don't have to worry about that. Right now we can just live in the now. This is and this is how fun it is to be here. And, I'm wondering if other fighting games or just other games in general are going to see this and see the success that Street Fighter 6 is going to have with this battle hub, and see how can they use that to their advantage, Like, how can they take this kind of social, communal part of video games that exist, whether or not the video game creators have it or not, it exists, When people play Elden Ring and you play, however many hours, and you go back to work and you talk to your friend who's also playing Elden Ring, or your coworker, or your boss, whoever, and you guys have this kind of shared experience, but that kind of happened separately. Versus here, it's like all happening in the same room, in the same lobby, together online, and it's just a fun time. It feels like a party. And I mean, again, I'm just mad impressed by it, to be honest. Anyways, that's I guess I'm just a ramble of what I feel like the battle hub, and why is it so successful, why is it so cool, why casuals like it, why FGC fanatics are loving it. I'm excited to just play more of this and see where it grows. Where is Capcom going to take this, because you usually get that Street Fighter's game of the decade, or of the generation, and Street Fighter 6 is going to be a great one. It's starting off like peak, and it's just see where they can take it from here, Anyways, you guys, I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys enjoyed the video, like the video, please consider subscribing, as it does help me out tons. And with that, I will see you guys on the next video.